leave the studio where no one is in concert with anybody else, no one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?"
Coming back from that, you can hear exactly how he was approaching the case. He wasn't hesitant. He wasn't uncertain. He was very clear in his position that the government's case has issues. He talked about the complaint being messy. He talked about a lack of hard evidence. And he basically framed this as something that wasn't what it was being made out to be. And that kind of confidence does two things. It reassures your client and it shapes public perception. But it also creates expectations. Because once you come out like that, people expect you to stand on it. Now let's get to the part where everything started feeling different.
I believe they say that the ankle monitor was used to track him and William Sr. to a Staples, and the allegation was there that they went to a Staples early in the day to print off that agreement, to print off the contractual release paperwork.
Sure. First, let me just address the Staples thing. Like, I don't even care if they're at Staples. Like, they're going to a recording studio, and normally my clients usually print off the lyrics for different individuals. If you have 5 individuals that are going to be on one record and they each have a section or a part, they'll usually print those things off. So I really didn't care about the Staples thing.
This is where the narrative started losing people, because the explanation didn't line up with how things actually work today. Most artists are not going to a Staples to print lyrics. They recording off their phone, they punching in. They're not walking into Staples for a purpose like that. And again, this is not about whether it's legally possible. It's about how it sounds to anybody listening. When your defense starts sounding disconnected from reality, it don't just raise eyebrows. It starts to chip away at your credibility. And that's important because in a case like this, credibility matters just as much as strategy. Once people start questioning your explanations, everything else you say gets looked at different. Now here's where the real shift happened.
All right, let's talk Pooh Shiesty. Quick update on Pooh Shiesty's case. I am just leaving Tennessee, actually, on a different federal case. But I will be withdrawing off the case. No implications of me withdrawing off the case. I still think it's a great case. I think there's a lot of holes in it. I think the government has a lot of explaining to do on the case. But I will be substituting in will be Dan Codgel, who's a fantastic lawyer. And
now this is the moment that changes everything, because you don't see an attorney come out this strong publicly and then step away this fast without something changing behind the scenes. And I'm not about to sit here and act like we know exactly what that is. But what I am going to say is that it raises real questions, because now it's not about whether the government was right or wrong. It's about why the energy changed so fast from confidence to exit. And when that happens in a federal case, that's not something you just ignore like it don't mean nothing. And there are only a few realistic reasons for a move like this. Either there's a conflict that couldn't be worked through, or there's information that made him reevaluate his position.